Good morning, students.
Good morning, Ma.
Today, we are going to learn about the water cycle. Have you ever wondered where rainwater goes after the rain stops? Some rainwater flows along the road. Some enters gutters, streams, and rivers. And some soaks into the ground. But does the journey of the water end there? Think about something you may have seen before. After heavy rain, puddles appear on the road. When the sun comes out, those puddles slowly become smaller. Eventually, they may disappear. Where did the water go? Did they simply vanish? The water changed into something we cannot easily see and moved into the air. The water cycle is the continuous movement of water from Earth's surface to the atmosphere and back again. Water can move from oceans, rivers, lakes, soil, and plants into the air. It can form clouds and later return to Earth as rain or other forms of precipitation. There is something important to remember. The water cycle has no fixed beginning or ending. It is called a cycle because water keeps moving around Earth again and again. To understand the water cycle, let us follow the journey of one drop of water. Our water drop is sitting inside a lake. But look, the sun is shining. What do you think will happen to our water drop? The sun provides heat energy. When sunlight heats water, some liquid water begins to change. Water in lakes, rivers, oceans, puddles, and wet soil can change into water vapor. This process is called evaporation. Water vapor is water in its gas form. Most of the time, we cannot see it. The water vapor rises into the atmosphere. Remember that puddle? It did not disappear. Some water became vapor and moved into the air. Water can also enter the atmosphere from plants. Plants absorb water from the soil through their roots. Some of this water later leaves the plant through its leaves and enters the air. Together, these processes help move water from Earth's surface into the atmosphere. Our water vapor continues to rise. But something changes higher in the atmosphere. The air becomes cooler. As water vapor cools, it changes back into tiny liquid water drops. This process is called condensation. Millions of trillions of tiny droplets can gather together in the atmosphere. And what do they form? Clouds! Water vapor cooling into tiny water droplets is called condensation. Inside a cloud, tiny water droplets collide and join together. They gradually become bigger and heavier. Eventually, the droplets become too heavy to remain in the cloud. Then they begin to fall. Water falling from clouds back to Earth is called precipitation. Precipitation may fall as rain, snow, sleet, or hail, depending on the conditions. In many warm regions, the form of precipitation we see most often is rain. Our water has returned to Earth. But what happens next? Rainwater can take several different paths. Let us look at 3 of them. Some rainwater flows over the surface of the land. This is called runoff. Runoff can travel along roads, hills, gutters, and fields into streams, rivers, lakes, or oceans. Some rainwater does something different. It enters the soil. This is called infiltration. Some of this water can move deeper underground. Plants can absorb it through their roots. Underground water can also help supply wells and other water sources. Water can also gather in different places on Earth's surface. This is called collection. But water does not remain there forever. When the sun heats it again, evaporation begins. And our water drop starts another journey through the water cycle. Now let us put everything together. The sun heats water on Earth's surface. Water changes into water vapor and rises through evaporation. Higher in the atmosphere, vapor cools into tiny droplets through condensation, and clouds form. When droplets become heavy enough, water returns to Earth through precipitation. Some moves over land as runoff. Some enters the soil through infiltration, while some gathers through collection. Then the cycle continues. We can create a simple model of the water cycle using a bowl, warm water, plastic wrap, and ice. The warm water represents water heated by the sun. The water evaporates and rises. As the vapor cools, it changes into tiny droplets. This represents condensation. When the droplets become heavy, they fall like rain. The water cycle is very important for life on Earth. Rain provides water for crops, grass, and trees. It helps fill rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds. Some rainwater also enters the ground. This underground water can help supply wells. People and animals also depend on this water. Without the movement of water through the water cycle, life on Earth would be very different. The water cycle keeps water moving. But that does not mean our water will always remain clean. Refuse, chemicals, or dirty water in rivers, gutters, and streams can make water polluted. Polluted water can be dangerous to people, plants, and animals. We should keep our surroundings clean. This brings us to the end of today's lesson on the water cycle. But before we go, I have 3 questions for you. Question 1. What is the water cycle? Question 2. Name the 4 major stages of the water cycle. Question 3. What happens during condensation? Write your answers clearly and submit them on your Link School portal. I'll see you in the next lesson.